Well, I've started cleaning and I probably need a skip bin. It is amazing how much stuff people can collect in just a couple of years. Absolutely mind-boggling stuff. And guess what's arrived? T56 Tremec. Amazing how this thing can handle 1,000 horsepower. Oh, advertise 800, I think. But apparently it's no problem. This is I always thought these were second hand. But they're not, they're brand spanking. Ooh, oh, that's orgasmic. Oh, yummy. Oh. Whoa. Ang sarap. There is the yolk. No need to proof fit that. And slave cylinder, clutch actuator, whatever you want to call it. But I have one question for you guys. Why two? Is there arrows on it? No. Why two? I've only ever had them with one. The slave cylinder with one, but this is kind of different. Metal wood. I thought this thing was supposed to be billet. Anyway, that's fine. It'll work. Oh yeah, that's a protective cover on there. Plastic. I'm guessing that's why there's two slots, one for each hose. But I don't know why there's two. Please let me know. Confusamundo. I looked at the instructions and it doesn't say anything about the two. It just says about the gap setting. But that's another thing. The gap setting. How can you have a gap when it's spring loaded? Look, yeah. Which means it's always got putting pressure on the clutch fingers. Or is that supposed to come out? Is that supposed to come out? The spring. Is that there for assembly? No, I can't imagine that. I'm gonna have to look that up, because unless you can tell me in the comments. Why is the bearing constantly pushing out by a spring? With a clutch fork you'd have the opposite, right? You have a spring to pull the clutch fork back and that pulls the bearing back. Here there's a spring pushing the bearing against the clutch. New technology. This is a much better idea than, for example, the clutch fork. Getting that thing to line up is a pain in the butt sometimes. Getting them to stay on the little pivot point. Whew. This is so much cooler idea. but I've got two outlets, or one in and one out, or two ins, I don't know. Does the other one go to the gearbox somewhere? There's a few fittings on the outside. Why is the bearing that way? Oh well, we'll find out. All in good time. We'll do it together. So there she is. And yes, it's yours. That's yours. You're going to come out the next week. You're going to go outside. You're going to get a wash and a clean. I'm going to spruce you up. And you're going to be in the main hall right here. Yep. And we're going to try and patch your engine up first. Get it all running. New timing chains. All that good stuff. Get you up and running. If not, then we go straight for the rebuild. Apparently the bell housing's coming today, which of course needs to be modified. Need to modify the bell housing, need to modify the flywheel, need to modify everything, because there's just no performance equipment for this engine. But it's going to be fun to do. You see, I had an option. For the first time in my life, I was able to buy a decent car. I could have just brought a car. Or I could have brought maybe a newer Grand Cherokee. I could. But it would still be automatic. Why do I want another Grand Cherokee? Well, they're comfortable as hell. I have multiple back injuries and I can drive all day in a Grand Cherokee. All day, no problem. I get into a little sedan. Oh man, by the time 30 minutes and I'm stuffed. In the Jeep, man, the Grand Cherokee, ooh man, I drive like a king. So that's why I would always go for another Grand Cherokee. I've never known anything as comfortable on the road as that. And with the seats, a lot to do with it, of course, but that's just a fact. I've never driven anything as comfortable as the WJ Grand Cherokee. I don't know what the later models are like. I haven't driven them. I have not driven the later models. Right, so I asked my daughter. She's not really mechanical, but she's a bit of a guess head. I said, what would you have preferred Dad to do? Bought a later model Grand Cherokee or fix the old one? She goes, Dad, fix the old one. She loves that red Jeep. She cannot wait for me to go pick her up at school with that thing. It'd be a nice surprise actually if I turned up in that instead of the silver one, without her knowing. She'd be wrapped. She loves that thing. Not sure why, but she does. Yep. So instead of buying another one and I guess selling this one, what would happen? Someone would buy it. Yeah, it's too good to scrap. It's way too good to scrap. But I couldn't. Don't think I could sell it. I wouldn't be happy. Even with a new one, it'd still be automatic. And I'd still want to upgrade things, right? All my vehicles in my life I've upgraded. So if it was not a Trackhawk that I brought, it would end up getting supercharged or turbocharged. That's just me. I'm a modder. I mod everything. Oh, okay. Save the gated. Save the manual, man. Wow, that feels so nice. Click, click. That'll be the nicest gearbox I've ever owned. Thank you, Lord, for your blessings. Thank you, thank you, thank you. for my family. Oh, hang on. I think we have a delivery. Yes, we have a delivery. Hi mate. Just the one package, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It's not what I was expecting then. Alright, I was expecting another one. Thank you. That was not what I was expecting. Phone. From? I don't know. Me no. Did one of you guys send me a gift? yeah, right they go. What do we have here? I have no idea. We can see together. Ah, a pair of shoes. Ah, I was all excited. It was going to be, I thought it was going to be car parts, you know. I'm like, yeah, I thought it was going to be car parts, and it's shoes. Oh well. Yeah, I guess I need shoes. I've got some, but they're pretty worn out and buggered. So yeah, the suspension parts came in for the silver Jeep because that's knocking around, banging and squeaking, and the front wheels are off track because it's got some worn out bushes in the control arms. But anyway, I was so excited the bell housing was going to be here. I was going to say, look guys, it'll later on maybe. It says before 6, sometime before 6. So. Yeah, so you still remember why is there 2 hydraulic lines coming out of this bearing, and why is it spring loaded? Confusamundo. That's a breather. What do we have here? What's this? Wonder what this one is. Reverse light switch. I presume these ones. One would be, I guess, a lockout switch, reverse lockout, and in line with the drive shaft, that'll be a speed sensor. Yeah, this would be a lockout switch, I imagine. Probably a little hydraulic solenoid in there. Yeah. Tremec. Okay, well that'll be it for today, I think. Next, I guess, will be how badly I need to modify the flywheel and the bell housing. I'm going to see if I can invert the exhaust manifolds to the front, see if they, you know, swap around upside down, and because then I'd have the option of putting turbos at the front. I still have to work out my room. I guess it'd be coolish if I could put the turbos down the sides there, out of the way, so when they look under the bonnet you don't really see much. But it's nice to have the turbos up front. I was just a WTF auto, and with Tristan having a chat, and before he got there, that's where they wanted to drop the gearbox off. They weren't going to drop it off at the domestic residency, so they only want to drop it off at a business without a forklift. You don't need a forklift for that. Anyway, he believes the H-beam rods will be fine, so that's probably what we'll go with. I mean, I'm not going to throw 1,000 horsepower out every weekend, right? That's only like a goal. The 1,000 horsepower is a goal. Don't get me wrong, I'll be wrecked if I got 800, but I'm aiming for 1,000, right? I want really high RPM too, so I'm going to do some flywheel work. And the flywheel is already billet, but I mean crankshaft work, right? So so many things to think of. For weeks now my brain's been fitting parts together and putting them in order in my head, you know, all this stuff here. So yeah, and I'll probably get a fuel cell. Now people say, oh, you're wasting your money, the vehicle won't be worth anything when you're done, right? True. It'll only be worth what a person is willing to pay for it. But it's worth it to me. I will have the pleasure of building it, working out how to build it, building it, and driving it. I don't drink, I don't smoke, I don't go to nightclubs, I don't do parties. I'm a family man who loves his family and God, and I love to tinker with my car. And through his blessings, my son was able to sell a house and make some profit, and that's why through him I can build this, because he said, Dad, you deserve it. I don't know, I guess, I hope I deserve it, you know. I'd do anything for my family. So through the blessings of a good family life, raising my kids well, this has been able to be done for the first time in my life. I would normally, when I did conversions, right, the first one I did was the V8 Hilux. It was under a gum tree with an endless chain that was set on it, not to be used for lifting, but that's what I used it for, lifting. And when you put the cog wrong, that thing came thundering down. So yeah, that was scary, man. But that's how I did the conversion, under a gum tree. I still got a photograph somewhere of the tree I did it under. Did the conversion. I didn't have a shed, in the sand. Wow. 19 years old. And I haven't stopped. Well, sickness stopped me a lot. If I hadn't have been sick, I would probably have my own business modifying vehicles. I probably would. I'd have a garage of some sort. A bit like WTF, but just not just for JDM, but across the board. Because WTF is mostly JDM. I have a Jeep. They're not building my engine or building my conversion, but he does help me with information. He's friendly, nice guy, and and he helps me with parts. He's helping me get the hull tech, and he'll help me sort out my computer setup, my turbo setup. And hopefully he'll be able to help me when it's time for the hull tech to be set up. He'll be able to say, okay, you need to do this or this or this. So yes, they're JDM, but he's always been there for me. So that's great. And then I've got to work out how to do a divorce transfer case. So I may not need that yoke. I may end up using a different sort of a flexible joint to go from the gearbox to the transfer case. Now this gearbox is also the shortest, the F body, so which is another good reason for it. I mean, the shifter's in the right place and it's short. Being short is good because it means I have more room for the transfer case underneath the Jeep. Now someone said that the factory transfer case, the heavy duty one, can handle 1,000 torque. Let me know if you believe that's right. 1,000 torque with a chain driven transfer case? 1,000? So I may not need to buy an Atlas. That would save me some money and some stress, because that's about as much as it'll end up costing me about as much as the gearbox by itself. Wow. But I know an Atlas transfer case, well, that's it. You can set and forget. But a chain driven transfer case, a factory one, 1,000 torque, really? Let me know what your thoughts are. I find it doubtful because I hear of people like putting a Selectrac transfer case behind a V8 out of a 6 and destroying them. And apparently according to them, the stock transfer case can handle 600 horsepower or more, 800. I forget, I read it the other day. It was a write-up. And I'm like, really? Or torque, not horsepower, torque, right? So if they can handle that, there's no way, a 300 horsepower V8 should be able to destroy it, but they do. Anyway, I'm rattling on here. How long have I been talking? 23 minutes. 23 minutes I've been gas bagging. And I should be cleaning. So I can clean the workbench and start laying parts out on the workbench. I still want to lift the roof on the shed so I can lift the car higher, because when I'm stooped under there, it hurts like hell, man. I woke up at 3 AM in pain this morning. I had to take my heavy painkillers to recover. That's my life. It has been that way since 1987. Whew. I'm getting all emotional now. Well, stop talking about it, I'll start to cry. So that's where we're at. We have suspension parts and we have a gearbox, and I need to know that slave cylinder. How does that work? Spring loaded, and it has 2 hydraulic lines. If I don't find out from you guys in the comments, I'll find out and I will tell you all about it. But now it's time to do some cleaning up, and then I've got to go pick my daughter up from school. Family time is so important. So I'm just looking what I've got, and even while I'm talking to you, the other half of my brain is like, okay, where do I put this, where do I put that? The brain is incredible. Alright, I'll see yous off. Love yous, and take care, and keep on modding. Whoa, whoa.